Hello again, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel. This is your host, Prince Magnum, and this is another episode of In Your Face. Today I'm gonna do another kind of slideshow sort of thing. If if you don't want to listen to me yap on this subject, turn down the volume and just take in the fun facts. I will warn you though, I apologize because there's not much in the way of fun facts for Ford and Mopar guys. Sorry guys, I'm more of a GM kind of guy than anything, even though I drive that classic Ford Maverick, Project Spirit. I've just always preferred GMs more, but that's me. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. Today, we see, the Mustang is still around, the Camaro is still around, and the Mopar Corporation has brought back the Challengers and the Chargers, and there's a lot of misunderstanding about these vehicles. We hear them commonly called as muscle cars. Well, I'm just going to have to break out my great big pen, and I'm going to have to pop your balloon. Um, those are not true muscle cars. Muscle cars, we stopped making muscle cars in this country back in 1970. That's the official year that was the last year for muscle cars. Um, so, what we see today are actually tuners, and we'll get into that more. But I will tell you, before we get into, why I call them tuners, let me explain something very, very important to all of you. Um, right now, American car companies right now are trying to say that the muscle car era ended in 1980. Um, and there's a reason why they're trying to do that. 1980 was about the time that fuel injection started becoming a thing. Um, if you've watched my video on what happened to our classic cars, you'll understand. It's just another ploy to try to get the old cars off the road. So just kind of a heads up, don't buy into that. But if you were to twist my arm and ask me when do I think there was really no more muscle cars, I'm going to go ahead and say 1975. Um, but that's stretching it a little bit. But the official year that there was no more muscle cars was 1970. That's the official, don't buy into the car companies. Okay, why am I saying that the new Camaros, the new Mustangs, and the new Challengers and Chargers are tuners? Well, it's pretty simple. Um, Tuners are very specific, and muscle cars are very specific. Muscle cars had very powerful engines that relied on carburation, compression, things like that. Tuners rely on fuel injection, computers, technology. If you will, I'll just go ahead and kind of separate the two without getting into a whole lot of details on what in the muscle car engines did and what the tuner engines will do today and things like that. We'll just skip all that. We'll just go ahead and make it really, really, really easy. And it's as simple as this. Muscle cars, in order to tune them in, you have to turn a wrench to tune them in. A tuner, you use a computer to tune it in. So a muscle car, you actually have to muscle it in. A computer, a tuner, you have to use a computer. Now, that's not to say you can't do, that the two aren't going to cross paths, but basically it comes down to the way the fuel delivery system really is what separates muscle from tuner. So if you own one of the new Camaros, or you own one of these new tuners, and you want to call them a muscle car, don't BS yourself, okay? Stop lying to yourself, okay? It is a tuner, and it's a modern day tuner. But just for the record, there's nothing wrong with that. It's about time we Americans show those Japanese how we do things. It's high time we do that. There's nothing wrong with having an American tuner. I think it's a fantastic thing. I'm glad that the Mustangs and the Camaros and the Challengers and the Chargers are showing the Japanese how the big boys do it. It's about high time we do that. So, there's nothing wrong with that. Just remember that even though it is a tuner, an American tuner, it still does have muscle car DNA in it, and that's even better to me. Um, and hands down, there's nothing wrong with that. Um, there's nothing wrong with that. So, unfortunately, Yes, we have tuners with muscle car DNA, but we still do not have our muscle cars yet. I'm sorry, folks. It just doesn't work that way. Until the car companies start putting carburetors back on our engines from the factory, we will no longer. We still don't have our muscle cars yet. And if any of you have been keeping up with my channel, you'll understand my complete dedication to carbureted engines. I prefer carbureted engines hands down. Um, that's just me. I can get a lot more power and fuel economy out of a carbureted engine than I can a fuel injected engine. That's just me. So that's where we stand with this. And if I offended any of you, good. You know, good. Get over yourself. You know, I'm just trying to keep you from getting into that poser class that I talked about in one of my last episodes of In Your Face. I don't want you to be out there, thinking you've got a muscle car when you're just going to get laughed off of a car meet by the real muscle car guys. Don't do that to yourself. Um, you know, don't BS yourself. Stop lying. Okay. Hands down, though. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with an American tuner. Um, you just, it's just not my style. Even though we had a Project Beauty, a '96 Mustang. So yeah, we still don't have our American muscle cars back yet, but we'll get them there eventually. Hopefully, one of these days. When everyone stands up and starts screaming what we really want. Um, once again, I hope you all enjoy. How we set up the slideshow. Every time I sit down and do one of these, I mean, I usually end up really racking my brain because a lot of the stuff that you will see in these videos, most of the stuff I've had tucked away for years. I mean, years. I used to read magazines, and Super Chevy was one of them that I commonly picked up and learned a great deal about these cars and things like that. And I used to sit there and read Chilton's manuals, and for hours on end, just learning about engine packages and things like that. I spent a lot of time doing that, and it's amazing that I've been able to remember this stuff all these years later. Um, so I hope all of you enjoy, how we set these videos, how I've been setting these videos up. It's been absolutely fun doing this, and it's just been really exciting. I hope you all enjoy it. With all that being said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. The more you guys do that, the sooner we could do this a lot more. Um, you know, I hope you all do that very soon. With all that being said, if nobody's told you that they love you, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.